Golden State Media Concepts presents the GSMC Classics series, with episodes of some of your favorites from a day gone by, a time gone by. Join us as we time travel to some of your classic favorites from yesteryear. The GSMC Podcast Network invites you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the GSMC Classics series on the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network.
From Hollywood, our land be bright. Long may our land be bright, with freedom's holy light. Protect us by thy might, great God, our King. Be Bright is presented by the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States and is produced and transcribed in Hollywood.
This is Abbott and Costello speaking from Hollywood.
Lou, you tell the folks. Speak to the folks first, will you? Explain to them.
All right, Bud. You know, when the Veteran of Foreign Wars invited me to greet you on this program, I was told that the subject would be youth activities. Now, could anyone imagine a more interesting subject, or one which is tied closer to that beautiful kite we call the future? The children of today are the meek who shall inherit the earth. I don't think, really, that we've done a very, very good job for them lately. What do you think, Bud?
You're right, Lou. Absolutely right. There are almost 500 million children in this world at this hour, most of them underprivileged, undernourished, and lacking the chance to learn enough to compete for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in the civilized world.
I think you got something there, too, Bud. You know, there have been great wars, however unavoidable, which have left a huge public debt, running into the year 2000 and beyond, which they shall have to pay, all of which has been incurred in our generation as a burden for our children to carry.
Yeah, but wait a minute, Lou. We can make amends. We can see that they get educations, that they have adequate health insurance and recreational facilities. If their growing bodies and minds are strengthened, that burden will not be too heavy to carry for the privilege of having once been young and a free man, Lou.
But I think that was very beautifully spoken. This is Abbott and Costello in Hollywood. Again, goodbye.
And now here's the boys of the VFW, who at the moment seems to be rather preoccupied with something that's going on in his neighborhood.
Blood, Jimmy! Blood! Oh, you could have made it easy. What's the matter? Don't you get enough to eat?
Baseball, Sandlot baseball. And the oldest player, that's my boy, will be 12 next week.
Hey, Tommy! Don't let that fella get away to second now. Keep your eye on shortstop. The guy up now decides the bunt. Short will grab it, slam the ball to you at first, and you can put your man out. Watch short, Tommy! Watch short!
Can I have a nickel, Daddy?
What for?
Peanuts.
Peanuts, she says. Peanuts. When her brother's out there in the field risking his career. Oh, well, here's your nickel. Just like a woman always needs money.
Hey, that's it! Got him out, umpire! Got him out! Tommy caught him between first and second! Got him out, I say! That's my boy! Played at first today! My boy!
Yeah, baseball. Great game. National sport. The teams are pretty well matched, too. Both organized by the local VFW post.
What's that you say, comrade, about the VFW?
Comrade, eh? That means you're a vet, too. Where you from, fella?
St. Paul, Minnesota.
Huh?
We just staged a bowling tournament out there.
You did? How'd it go?
Oh, great stuff. The kids as well as the grown-ups loved it.
Well, imagine they did. Yeah, have peanut.
Thanks.
Hey, those are mine. Daddy let me buy them for myself.
Yeah, honey, but hasn't Daddy always told you to be generous, huh? Give me the bag.
Don't bother. I've got a little daughter of my own. You don't have to explain. Yeah. Hey, sales boy, bring us some peanuts. Now, what are you giggling about?
That's the kind of a pop you are.
What kind's that?
A soda pop.
Oh, cut it out, will you?
are up front, that is in the elimination matches for the National.
We still got a chance, haven't we, mister?
Oh, sure. And you know something?
No, what?
I think you're going to win. Just watch your footwork, Sonny, and keep your eye on the alley. You know, like I said.
You mean like this?
Bowling, another VFW-sponsored sport for youngsters and for adults as well, from post to post and coast to coast.
Folks, we're greeting you today from Clarksburg, West Virginia Airport. A junior meet's in progress for air-minded boys who go in for model flying. It's a fine, clear day here, not a cloud in the sky. Wait a minute. How's that? Yes, correction, please. I said there wasn't a cloud in the sky, but, folks, I was wrong. Yes, sirree, right before us, one of the slickest little streamlined model airplanes you ever saw has just taken off, and it's called the White Cloud. Yes, sirree. And what's more, she's gaining altitude. Oh, boy, that's a little beauty. What a baby. I wish she'd grow up. Might have a number. Well, there goes another. One of those single-engine gadgets entered by Freddie Alcott from York, Pennsylvania High. And that's just what he is, too. High in the sky. Nice going, Freddie. Took a nosedive.
Who took a nosedive, Daddy?
What? You here again. Give me a peanut.
Unless you give me another nickel.
What for?
Just for me.
Oh, well, look. You're as bad as your mother.
But you married her, didn't you?
Yes, I married her. What do you suppose I did?
I wouldn't know, Daddy. I haven't been here very long.
Well, let that be a lesson to you.
What, Daddy? What kind of a lesson?
Oh, run along now. Will you go fly a kite or a plane or something? Can't you see I'm concentrating?
Number 115 from Langley. Number 96 from Los Angeles.
Have a peanut, Daddy? You can have one now.
Model airplane flying, the cleanest, most useful, and perhaps the most important competitive interest boys can have in preparation for the years to come. In commenting upon the worthiness of this particular VFW youth activity, Commander-in-Chief Ray H. Brannaman of the Veterans of Foreign Wars has said,
"Here is a real community spirit enterprise, an opportunity for posts interested in youth activities to plug for boys not only to develop their skill, patience, and character, but to contribute to the general air-mindedness that should permeate the nation."
Do you hear that? It's target practice on the shooting range. Junior rifle clubs for boys or girls. These organizations, affiliated with the National Rifle Association of America, are recognized by the United States government as groups, quote, for civilian shooting as a sport, unquote, and a necessary part of national defense. Now, Junior learns to use guns properly and safely, develops muscular coordination, attention to detail, perseverance, self-control, and sportsmanship. Let's listen for a moment to the adult instructor.
Boys, I want you to know that safety rules are very definite things. They've been formulated into a code for junior marksmen. Each club member is required to memorize these rules and to apply them at all times. I shall ask you, therefore, to repeat the following after me. I will cock my gun and pull the trigger only when I am aiming at the target which I intend to shoot.
I will cock my gun and pull the trigger only when I am aiming at the target which I intend to shoot.
I will unload my gun and open the action as soon as I finish shooting and before I move from the firing line.
I will unload my gun and open the action as soon as I finish shooting and before I move from the firing line.
I will unload and open my gun before I climb a tree, fence, or similar obstacle.
I will unload and open my gun before I climb a tree, fence, or similar obstacle.
I will play safe at any time when I am in doubt of the proper action.
I will play safe at any time when I am in doubt of the proper action.
I will see that everyone around me obeys these rules for the safety and good of all.
I will see that everyone around me obeys these rules for the safety and good of all.
I will immediately make sure that any gun I have
From coast to coast and border to border, the spirit of sport is the sportsmanship of America. It begins in a game played to win, and it finds expression thereafter in every walk of life.
General Eisenhower, we have noticed as your American GI, as you call him, he fights pour la sport, n'est-ce pas? Like he's playing football or baseball.
That's right, sir. The American boy who becomes an American soldier never forgets the game. Hadn't you found that to be so, General Montgomery?
Rather. I've seen frequent examples at the front and behind the lines of what we British call a highly developed sense of sportsmanship. It is the true mark of the man.
And back home, back in the States, the game goes on. Maybe it's ice hockey, skating, basketball, softball, football, tennis, golf, where the links are green and the air is keen. Outboard motorboat races. And even marble games, where the umpire, officiating at VFW tournaments, calls knocks down and roundsters for his little contestants. The most sought-after marble arbiter in the country. Sports for all, and all in sport. For the growing boy and the growing girl, youth activities, all of them, no longer under the flags of conflict, but flying the banners of peace. For such men and women of America is the youth spirit in action of the veterans of foreign wars.
Won't you have one of my peanuts?
Bright is presented in the public interest by this station and hundreds of others from coast to coast and overseas in cooperation with the veterans of foreign wars. Next week and always, long may our land be bright, with freedom's holy light. Protect us by thy might, great God, our King.
This Veterans of Foreign Wars program was transcribed in Hollywood and Washington and was produced by Robert J. Enders.
You've been listening to the GSMC Classics series, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Follow us at www.gsmcpodcast.com and find all of our timeless programming by typing GSMC Classics into any podcast app, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and more. Remember to subscribe to the GSMC Classics series podcasts of your choice to stay up to date on new episodes. And if you could take a minute to give us a nice review, that really helps us to get this ageless programming out to others who would enjoy it just as much as you have. Check out all of our GSMC Classics series podcasts. Whether you're in the mood for comedy, romance, adventure, history, science fiction, horror, or anything in between, the GSMC Classics series has you covered. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program on the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network.